Hey, Fezzy.
What?
I
see dead people.
We are about to see dead people.
All right.
We've got a gentleman who's coming into the studio in just a few moments.
Robert Hansen. He's a psychic medium.
Now, we found out about this from watching last night. And, of course, Billy has been read by Jonathan. Is it Edwards?
John Edwards, yeah.
Yeah.
Billy's into it. I love this stuff.
I see dead people.
I find it so fascinating.
Yeah. I got to tell you, Fezzy, I'm a little suspect of it all.
Really?
I just don't see how you're able to see and talk to dead people.
Hi, Robert Hansen. How are you?
And Robert's going to be able to read some of our callers. If you have someone that you'd like to talk to that's passed on, 877-692-1027. Robert, how did you pick up your gift?
You know, I didn't pick it up at all, to be honest with you. I about 8 years ago, I would start standing near friends of mine, people that I didn't know, and I'd start receiving images and information and sounds, and one thing led to another, and I'd be saying to somebody, do you understand this person that was hit by a motorcycle, up on the sidewalk? And they say, yeah, that's my cousin. Who's this guy, Al or Alan? And they said, my God, that's his name. One thing led to another, and I started getting these affirmations one after the next, and I thought I was losing it, to be honest with you. I really didn't know what it was.
Now, what age were you at the time? Did this start?
Well, I'm in my early 50s now. I was about 42, I guess. Wow,
so that's kind of late in life to pick that up.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me that. I've been, since I'm a little guy, I've been involved with martial arts all my life. I teach and train in that, and I've been around meditation and spirituality pretty much all my life, but never thinking along these lines. I guess in retrospect, it was kind of like preparing me. I guess I was maybe either spiritually immature or something. I don't know. But something kind of popped about almost 9 years ago now. And I've been working it full-time ever since, and I do it professionally every day.
So when you started getting these visions,
right,
these things, you see it in your head.
Well, we really get it three ways. When I say we, there are people in the field like myself, but when we receive our information, it comes in what we call clairvoyant pictures, meaning I get like flashcards in my head.
Okay.
And then we get a clairaudient reference, which means like sounds kind of go off. For example, the sound of an automobile accident or a gunshot or something like that. And then we also get what we call a sentient feeling, meaning that I get a feeling that is very clear about the relationship between the people involved in either their death or the family members. For example, if there was an abusive situation or someone died at someone's wedding or something like that. And they all kind of come together at the same time and provide me a kind of a storyboard, so to speak, of the relationship.
Now, can you control it, or do you just walk into a room and pick something off of somebody?
I can't control it. If you're in the area, I will read you if it's intended for me to hear it. And that's a big word. If I'm supposed to hear it, I'll definitely hear it.
All right, as you just look around the room here, can you pick up anything from me or Fez?
Well, when I came in, when I first walked into the room, there's a reference to someone that either lost a brother or had a brother feeling lost, and the person would either be like a brother or someone who had a younger brother feeling lost. So it's either a person who has like a cousin in the family or a relative in the family that had someone on a younger side that is crossed. And there's also a reference to someone that had a father pass when they were a younger guy. That I can definitely tell you. There's a reference to a man that lost his father when he was a younger person.
That would be nobody in the room here.
It's definitely connected because they're telling me that someone lost their father when they were young or had a relationship with a brother feeling or a father feeling that crosses when they were younger, or it was an unexpected loss. Definitely. And I believe it's...
Not me.
Would you know if it was Billy outside? Or the
yes, it's definitely Billy outside.
Do you know if that's connected to him?
Yeah, I know he lost his father.
Okay, because it comes
so did Joe. Pooh lost his dad at an early age, but Billy's the one that was actually lost at age 14.
Yeah, try not to give me any information that, it's okay. Because this is going to sound odd, but when I walked into the, I guess the green room you'd call it.
Right.
As soon as he walked by me, I said to my wife, there's something with this guy.
Yeah.
And he mentioned to me that he had been read on another station or another show.
That doesn't.
And he had said to me that, I had been read by somebody. And I said, gee, there's something about you that's very unusual. And that's what started the reading. So I have to tell you, connected to him, there is a reference to a early death where someone lost a father figure at a very young age.
With Billy, anytime I see him, I think huge loss.
But is there a chance I could talk with him, or?
Yeah, sure. This is from beyond. Hey, Billy.
Yeah, come on in, Bill. I have to tell you this because when we came in, I said I almost felt like I knew you, and then as it turned out, we had
shocking.
We kind of crossed each other's paths at one point. But when I came into the room, I said, there's definitely someone in this room that had lost their father when they were very, very young, and there's a reference to a sudden and an unexpected loss. And second to that, they're also acknowledging for me what they call a crown on the head, which means they're telling me that they're thanking you for taking over the role of the parent figure or taking on the burden of the family, because they're making an acknowledgement out of me. Without getting too personal, there's also a reference to coins. Now, when they show me coins, that usually means one of two things. Either someone collected coins, like silver dollars, half dollars, that kind of thing. But there's also a reference to recovery, and there's a reference to that. So I know that's definitely being acknowledged to me here. And I also have to tell you, there's a reference to someone other than the father figure. And there's another Bill or Billy.
Great.
There's another Bill or another William, like another B sound connected with you. Do you have another William or another Bill, like a grandfather figure?
Grandfather was William.
It's got a baby. And also connected to this man, there has to be a reference. They're showing me broken beer bottles, so either there is alcoholism in the family or there's a relationship.
Billy's apartment.
And I got to say this to you also, and Ron, this may be with you as well. There's a reference to someone either who worked on, repaired, fixed, or really detailed old cars, or has a passion for either classic cars or classic motorcycles.
That's not mine.
Or worked in a garage as a mechanic, or came up working with like a grease monkey kind of a thing. Definitely. Or may have been at car shows or appeared at car shows.
No, I just know my grandfather worked at the Brooklyn Navy Yard repairing ships.
They're acknowledging the number 55 to me, which is very significant.
Old 55.
That was my high school football number.
There you go. Because that's what I'm seeing, a 55 Chevy.
Your IQ.
So I know that there's a reference to the number 55. So the 55 pertains, and also there's an acknowledgement of you.
That was also your waist size in high school.
A couple of years ago,
And the year he graduated.
Does the number 56 mean anything to you? But the 55 definitely connects for you. And also there's a reference to a John or Joan or John also, or Joseph. It's a J-O reference that comes through.
J-O?
Yeah, that's perfect
That's
for Billy.
It's definitely connected in the room. And the young man, there's a young fella standing right across from me here. There's a young guy that I'm looking at. What's your name?
That's Rory. That's Rory Hampton.
My name's Rory.
Hi, Rory?
Yes,
Rory. Rory, do you have like an Elizabeth or a Mary connection with your family? Or a Marie?
Anything there,
Or
Rory?
Madeline, an M-A sound. There's an acknowledgement of an M-A,
What
Mary,
is it?
Marie.
A Marion.
A Marion. I'm telling you, there's a reference of a connection of a Mary, Marion, or a Marie sound connected. And I'm also going to tell you there's either a grandmother figure that lived with you or lived in your home, because there's what they call a 2-on-1, meaning
That's Roy's family.
like a residence of 2-on-1 in the same house. And
Menage?
yeah, no.
Reading a menage?
Did your grandma live with your parents at some point? Do you know if your mom took care of your grandpa?
Yes. Oh, my God. That's weird.
Would you understand that?
Yes.
And how does the name Rose connect with you? Or Robert, the R-O sound reference. Rose, Ronnie, Robert. One of you guys has a Rob or a Rose reference here.
Nothing there.
Yeah, I'm positive. There's a reference to an R-O sound, and they're also acknowledging the 16th day.
Would it be Rory?
Yes.
Yes.
That's R-O.
That's your name?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I really wasn't focused on it. Because there's a reference to the R-O connection. And did you ever come from out of state?
No.
What is the Florida reference in the room? There's a reference to someone who either lived in Florida.
That's Fez.
That's me.
Worked in Florida?
Me.
Yeah.
I worked in Florida. Fez lived in Florida.
Because there's a reference to someone that either worked in Florida or lived in Florida. And connected to this, there's again a repeating reference to an older female that crosses that's connected to you, which makes it either your grandma has crossed.
Yes.
Did your grandmother also live in the same home with your parents, or did your mother take care of your grandmother?
Yeah.
In the same home, though.
Yeah, she died in our home.
All right, stay with. Try not to give me that if you can help
Fez,
me.
Oh, sorry.
But no, it's okay, because they're making an issue about care given to me, and that's how I'm hearing it. And I want to bounce this name again because there's a reference to an M.A., like a Marie, a Mary, a Madeline, and also a Lizzie or an Elizabeth or an Elaine, an E-sound reference with you that comes in connected to your family. And they're telling me about the swelling of the legs. Someone either had an ambulatory issue.
That whole family's legs swell up.
Or could not.
We have bad ankles.
But do you know if your grandmother did specifically?
Yeah, she had a blood clot in her ankle.
That's it, because there's a reference to something leg-related.
Oh, my God.
Don't tell me it's still bothering her.
Well, her lymph is leaving. Let me put it that way. But wow. And did you know if your grandfather ever, or someone connected above you, like a father feeling or a grandfather feeling, was either a hunter or hunted or
a gatherer,
or had a hunting background?
Yeah, my grandfather hunted.
I'm not just talking
And
casually. I mean, they may have been...
And raised hunting dogs.
Right, that's it. Because and do you know if you have in your home either one of his rifles, or you may have something that belongs to him as far as one of his rifles, or something you personally have yourself?
My brother has those.
Who has the silver dollar nailed on the wall?
The silver dollar nailed on the wall.
Well, I tell you what, they're showing me the movie picture, Moby Dick. Remember Moby Dick? And,
okay.
and they put a doubloon up on the mast of the ship. And they said, whoever catches this great white whale will get that gold doubloon. I'm being shown that. So either it's like you have like a horseshoe nailed on the wall, or someone has a doubloon nailed up on the wall, or a silver dollar. But it's not so much kind of a trophy mentality connected to it.
The only thing I think we have up on the wall is one of his saws. That's hanging on the wall.
No, there's more to it.
That's beautiful.
And they're so good at decorating.
Now, there's a reference to... Now, I'm positive. There's a reference to either some kind of... I hate to say trophy, because a trophy kind of is an obvious connection to hunting. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Right. Yeah, he didn't win any.
It's not like that.
Hunting
But
trophies.
in either he had coins, or he collected coins, or there's a reference to a coin that he gave you.
He collected coins, but they're not hanging on the wall.
There's a cross...
I'll tell you this, no one in your family ever spent a coin.
We are not cheap.
Yes, you are.
Where is the...
Tell the medium that.
Where is the cross-reference to the construction worker or the guys that worked in construction then?
My grandfather also built furniture.
Oh,
Okay,
my
that's
God.
Do you know if he built his own home or helped build his own house?
Yes.
No, he didn't do that.
He helped.
Had to have.
Yeah.
He helped build our house.
And stay with me
Yes.
on this, please. And this is a little delicate. So there's a reference between the two of you guys, between someone who loses a younger person in the family. And it's related to a blood illness. Like either someone had AIDS or someone had leukemia, and they die much earlier than expected. And they keep acknowledging it, like someone either worked with AIDS or worked with leukemia, and there's a reference to a person who's coming in, and they're making me feel like someone either lost a younger sibling, like a brother or a younger child connected, and they're in this room because they're trying to be heard. Do you understand
Is that you, Billy?
I had a girl I went to the prom with in high school who died of AIDS.
There we go.
my God.
I'm telling you, because
Yeah?
there's a reference. Yeah, it's in the room. And I'm telling you, there's a name.
God.
I'm not saying I have her name, but there is a reference definitely connected here to this Mary, Marie, or Elizabeth. And also connected in your family, there was a reference to the number 16 and a name Carol or Catherine. Also links and also connects for me. And between you two guys, and I'm sure of it.
Both of them.
Do you guys understand this?
Does that make sense to either one of you, Rory or Billy?
I'm sure of it.
No, none of it. 16, remember,
Well,
Billy, for you?
There's a 16th day of a month, or like a particular date in a month. There's either the 16th day of a month or someone's
Trips to
passing
rehab?
date, anniversary date, or I'm sure of it.
Donuts.
And it's connecting to this young lady, and they are telling me that the AIDS comes accidentally. Like she doesn't know she has it, or she catches it by surprise. Do you understand that?
Yeah, she got it through drug use.
Okay, because there's something that catches her off guard,
Right.
and connected to her also, though. And yes.
He wasn't expecting it, Billy?
No.
No, there's
Caught
something.
her off guard.
There's something that, because she makes you feel it comes as a surprise. Did you go to her wake, or did you go to her funeral?
Yes.
Because she's acknowledging it to me that you not only had a personal thing with her, but there was a relationship that you maintain with. Do it again. Someone wrote a letter about her. She's
Yes.
acknowledging like a letter after the death, like someone either wrote a poem
G.
or a bereavement letter, or made some kind of a reference to her after the fact. Do you know if she had an honoring after her passing
Yeah, we did something at our high school reunion.
connected to her?
The 40 year?
The 20.
Okay, 20 year.
Aw.
Yeah, no, we had a whole little thing at the
Let me
reunion.
stay with you. This is really directed at you.
Yes.
Who has the father that was a fireman, or was a volunteer fireman?
That was actually my uncle.
Okay, because do you know if your dad's brother was connected to a fireman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his uncle.
All right, because it could
It
be
was,
mother's
actually
uncle.
it was actually my dad's sister's husband.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I know there's a fireman or a fireman's reference connected,
Mhm.
and he's also crossed.
Yes.
Now, I know the Trade Center we had a recent issue with the Trade Center, and it's obviously mentioned the firemen, right? Kind of
Weird.
a big, it's kind of sad. I don't get into the city as much as I used to, and we took a little time to go by there, and in my work that I do, unfortunately, I meet so many people that have suffered losses in the Trade Center, and it's really nice to be able to help them and reach out and have the readings happen for them, but it's always heartbreaking. But connected to this, do you have someone else also lost in the Trade Center other than a fireman? This other fireman?
No, there was nobody for me in the Trade Center personally.
Because this guy is also a pastor that's a fireman, yes?
Yes, definitely
and this is your uncle?
Yeah.
Where does the aneurysm or the blood reference come in connected to this guy? Do you understand that?
I don't remember what he died from. I really don't know.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I feel
thought that was coming in from the other side.
It scared me.
Casper, there's a reference to a fella that has like a blood clot or suffered a stroke connected to the fireman.
Family.
Yeah, that's his brother is still suffering from a stroke.
And Ron Fez, listen on this. Yeah. There's a reference to a man that is acknowledging either he damaged his hand, or he burned his hand, or had a finger missing, or someone has a missing appendage on a finger or a hand. Like
Jerry Garcia.
Like someone had an injury to the hand, or may have had a partial paralysis to the hand.
Well, what about the thing with those toes, Billy, that were fused together that you were...
Well, that was...
do you have this personally?
Do I have it personally?
But he put it in his mouth.
I put them in my mouth last week.
Would that be connected to webbed toes?
No, it's not connected to webbed toes. This is a guy that either had, like Donald Duck here, this is a guy that had either a deformed hand or a surgically repaired hand, or... Yeah, it's really strong. Like someone got either their knuckles broken, or there was an injury to the knuckles or to the hand itself.
Anyone in here have that?
Positively, or may have broken their hand. Did you ever break your hand or
had a glove?
Fracture your hand?
No, I've never broken a bone in my body.
Well, the night's young,
Quit bragging to the afterlife.
The night is young.
You never had a cavity either, did you, Roy?
I think I have one now.
Sweet.
I have to move. It's coming back between you two guys.
The hand people?
I want to stay with this. No, there's a reference to it because they're acknowledging either. It doesn't just come across to me as an arthritic condition. This comes across as absolutely a reference to a hand that either suffered some kind of a injury or had some kind of an issue to the hand.
Billy, what about that girl, Lobster Claws? He had a girl that he was dating who had very red hands.
Practically deformed.
All the time, and we nicknamed her Lobster Claws.
And let me go to you guys for a second. Because, because when I bring up people's families, I try to be as...
go ahead and be blunt.
Respectful as I can.
No, go ahead and be
blunt. Did one of you guys lose your mom?
Not yet. As much as we pray, no. We both have our moms.
Because I'm being told about a mother figure that lived in a home with you that died. Like you grew up with them and she crosses and either acted as a mother figure or acted in the family. Did your grandmother live with you when you were a young guy?
Yeah. Mine did.
Yours did.
Yeah.
And because they're telling me that they grow up with one of you or both of you. Like in my case, my grandmother lived in Brooklyn. We lived on the island. I visited her on Sundays. Like it was like a ritual, But I'm being told there's a female that lived in the home with, and they're making me go in this direction towards you both.
I've never had a mother figure in my life.
And there is a mother figure.
Not even my own mother.
There's a mother figure that crosses connected to one of you guys, and I'm being told she dies in the house.
No.
Or she's found dead in the house. Or she dies in the home.
No.
We had money.
No.
No. I don't mean had a funeral in the house. I mean dies in the house.
Right.
No.
Are you sure that your grandmother didn't die in your home?
She was dying in the house, but she didn't die in the house.
The whole family was dying.
Did she have like a medical equipment or things that were trying to help her, or because I'm seeing like medications and things connected to medical
support? Yeah, she had that.
And your grandmother had one of those escalators to get her up the steps, like most of the family used. And there was like 5 steps, and they sit on one of those little seats to go up.
We need that. We're weak back people.
Are you both sure there's no connection to the name Rose or Rob? Or
is there an Iris?
No, this is definitely a Rose. It's an R-O sound. Definitely connected. And
Roseanne?
It's got an R-O sound. It's really,
I know my grandmother used to watch Roseanne.
And I'm also going to... Who's the guy in the room here that had the person with the open heart surgery?
That's Billy.
Did you have open heart surgery?
Stapled chest.
I didn't have open heart.
Did you have surgery to your chest?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm telling you this.
Show this chest. Show them your chest and see if that helps. Look at that.
Wow, you definitely had it. Oh my God.
Do you need to touch the scar?
That's about an 8.
What about risotto?
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
As an RO sound?
Yeah.
Is that a female name? That's a female name?
Right. Would that have showed up at all?
I'm not sure yet, but I can tell you that connected to one of the two of you, there's a female that tells me that she grew up as a mother figure to one of you, very significant, and she lived in your home. And there's a reference to someone that also suffered from diabetes, or someone had a severe condition with a diabetic illness. And it's very, very intense. And they're making an issue about it. And there may have been a gangrene or an amputation connected to the diabetes. And someone may have missed their diabetic insulin condition. They may have not taken their medicines on time and fought it. And it's connected to that same person. There is a police officer reference. There's a badge reference, a cop or a fireman. It comes in more of a round badge, so it's got to be definitely police. Definite. And wow, man, I'm telling you, listen to me carefully. Do you have someone that was born either on Christmas Day or born on Christmas Eve? Or someone that died or passed on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
No. Jesus? Billy?
Billy?
Or the 24th or the 25th of the month?
Nothing with Christmas, but the police officer strikes a bell.
What's that? What would that be, Billy?
Wow.
The DUIs?
No, not the DUIs.
What is it then?
Well, no, I didn't want to give too much.
Well, if what I'm telling you makes sense, the acknowledgements are important because it kind of lets me know like I'm on the right.
There was a police officer in my life.
There has to have been a cop. There has to be, because they're referring to the surgery of what looked to me like open heart surgery, because they're definitely telling me about some kind of a surgical procedure. And they're also telling me, and I don't want to get too personal with you, but either you had a not a near-death experience, but either you had a major bout with almost dying, or someone in the family almost died, and there's a connection to it. And I want to go back to what I told you before. There's definitely a connection to a father that crosses close to you. And they're telling me specifically that you're a young guy when he dies, and that you take on the weight of the family on your shoulders, and you take
literally takes on the weight of the family.
Well, this was what was told to me after my father. My father had his first heart attack when I was very young, second one when I was 11, and then at the funeral they told me, "Well, you're the man of the family now."
Oh,
I mean, it's a specific
That's
reference.
a nice thing. How old were you?
11.
Yeah, like you need to hear that, Patches.
And,
I know.
And where does the railroad engineer or the worker of the train? So who had the train set or the trains?
We had always put up the Lionel sets.
Well, I mean, a lot of people do that at Christmas, but this is a very specific.
No, we still have them in the attic.
Oh, you
we
do?
never got
Okay,
rid of
because
them.
I'm being told about the train set.
And didn't you fall asleep on the train the other night?
Just the other night I fell asleep on the train.
Weird.
With that paper bag and that whole thing?
It's a mystery. I will be right back.
Just so everyone knows what's going on, we're speaking with Robert Hansen. He's a psychic medium who's come into the show tonight.
Good evening, folks. And we're right in the middle of a reading with Bill, and I'm acknowledging to him a reference to his family. His dad had passed when he was a young guy, and the energy continues to come at you. Who in the family either owned or raised a golden retriever, or had like an Irish setter, or a light-haired dog?
That was actually my ex-wife.
All right, because there's a reference to a golden retriever.
The golden retriever was your ex-wife?
Yes.
Lassie was her name, though.
Billy.
And
I called her dog on occasion, but...
And
This is serious.
I have to go to this guy in the corner, though.
Is that Hawky?
That's Hawk.
Yeah.
Get over there, Hawk.
The spirits are.
They're making me
with Hawk
pull
tonight.
across the room to Mr. Hawk here. Do you have family that lives out of state
Derek Jeter.
or out of area?
Yes.
Oh,
Do you have people also
weird.
that live out of the country?
No.
Or do you have people that resided out of the country for a while?
Libya.
No.
No, I'm sure of it, because they're making me feel that either people in your family speak an ethnic tongue or have another relationship and language, or there's something out of the area that's definitely connected to you. And were you ever a music major, or were you ever involved with music or musical work,
No,
other than working for the radio station?
No, not at all.
Where does the musician fall into your family?
There aren't any. That's why I have no musical talent. No, I'm not. I have no interest in music.
Have you done anything?
There's a reference between the two of you guys. Either someone played classical music, or someone worked with music, or someone had a piano, or played piano, or there's some reference to music, or musician, or how can I put it? Like either acted on stage or did performances or performing arts.
No.
My grandfather used to play the piano all the time.
All the time. All right, because there's a reference to something about a piano player or someone that played. Don't go far, Mr. Hawk. You're not getting off that easy. There's a. I feel like I'm in a TV show, Spencer. You know about that guy Hawk with Robert Urich, God rest his soul. He just passed away, Robert.
Did he?
Urich,
Have you heard from him?
Not recently. I'm waiting for his call though.
Have you ever talked to any famous people?
Living or dead?
Both.
Well, I tell you, I did. On a serious note, I had a couple of clients that I've had who have worked with people on Broadway. You know, one of them happened to have a relationship at one point with John Lennon. There was a peripheral reference to it, but I haven't had an opportunity to really. But I did read someone connected to Billy Joel recently, that was part of his band, and connected with that. So I did have that opportunity about a month ago. I've been very blessed with a lot of people that I've read. I've had an opportunity. I probably see about anywhere between 600 and 1,000 people a month. You know, in public appearances and stuff like this.
Now, are you able to connect with all of them, or just a percentage
well,
of them?
what really happens is, the way it legitimately happens is then I realize from most people listening, you know, there's a lot of skepticism connected to this whole thing. Because it sounds like you throw out a lot of information, a little bit sticks, you kind of dig into it, you try to figure it out and make it apply.
Right.
But when readings really take place, which they are taking place now, the energy really starts to come through. And where most people make the mistake in a reading is they really don't listen carefully enough to the information, or they have a particular person they're thinking about, like, that I should get. And what happens is there's a thing called the psychic link, which really occurs where, for example, when I have parents that have lost children, which is really tough. You know,
Sure.
I don't know they've lost their child when they meet me. I don't know anything when they come in. And all of a sudden, they're looking for that. Let's say they lose their daughter. They want to hear from this young lady, and they're anxious to hear about the young girl that dies. But I'm talking about an uncle, and they're saying, no, we're not here for that. Little do they realize the uncle was her godfather who passed away, let's say, in Vietnam.
So you got to be open to it.
Well, that's what really starts the energy rolling, and once that begins, then it goes. I'm also being shown here that someone's father and or grandfather was either raised with, grew up with, or played ball with a professional athlete.
That would be mine.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Because they're making me feel that someone really either played ball with somebody or grew up specifically playing baseball, may have had a pro contract, or may have played professionally. That is a connection. Mm-hmm. And you're telling me your dad is living?
Yeah, my dad's living. It's his father.
Okay, because there's someone connected to this. Where does the Harry or the Henry or the Herman or the H sound come in with you?
That would be him. That would be Harry.
There you go. And there's a reference to either you have like a bats and balls, or you have a glove, or you have newspaper clippings, but there is some reference to this for sure, and it's a source of pride with you. And I got to tell you this: either there is in this room, either someone has baseball equipment, someone has a bat, someone has a ball.
I'm holding a bat under the table here.
You got to be kidding.
That's weird.
Because there's a reference to baseball equipment. Is that connected to your grandpa?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about him when you were doing this.
No joke?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm letting you know because I'm telling you there's a reference to a Harry or a Henry and H sound.
It's Harry.
That's coming through. And remember I mentioned before the diabetes? Mm-hmm. In your family, do you know someone has the diabetic condition?
Yeah.
Okay. And
that'd
also,
be my dad.
And let me also say this to you. There is a definite reference to someone that is allergic to penicillin.
That's my mom.
You bet. And I want to be respectful here because I know this can get really. It's a good show. It's a lot of fun. I'm having a great time. But when you're talking about someone's mother or someone's father, I got to be a little cool with it. Would you know if you have twins in the family?
Yes.
Okay, because they're acknowledging twins. And respectfully again, do you know if someone lost twins?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm being told and I'm being shown double baby carriages in my head, and they're telling me they're protecting the kids.
Wow.
That's how I hear it and see it. You bet. So I want you to know that whoever these twins are connected to you.
That was Harry's kids. He was on his way to a ball game. This was actually before I was born. They were driving over a bridge. My father's brother and sister, the twins, drove off the bridge.
Oh, my gosh. I didn't see that part, but I do know.
Here's the strange thing.
Sure.
This bat that I have belonged to him.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't know you had it in the room. And
yeah.
Here it is.
I keep it down here on the table, and people always bring it up to me that I have it with me all the time.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Because it came
Lightning
in,
Boy.
It came in very, very. That's from what? The Natural, right? Lightning Boy.
Yeah, that's what
kind of a deal.
Yeah.
Is that because it looks like a new bat? Is that really your grandpa's bat?
It was my grandpa's bat.
Is that right? Well, and and again, this may sound a little bit odd, but you have, between the two of you, there's someone that worked either on a ranch or on a farm who was injured either by farm equipment or was injured by a large, like a working animal, like a cow or a horse or something.
That was also me.
You understand that? Because I'm being
My older brother was drugged by a horse.
As in dragged, not drugged, but as in dragged.
Yeah, he was on the horse, and it started to buck him, and he fell off, and his foot was in the saddle.
Got caught in the stirrup or in the saddle?
in the stirrup.
Right.
It didn't kill him, though.
No.
And this is going to sound, this is really directed at you. Do you do charity work?
Yes. Which I really don't talk about.
No, I know. I'm not. And then I'll just let you hear it from a very general possession. And I'm not trying to puff this up because I just don't do it. They're acknowledging to me through your grandfather that you work and do a lot of things in private, or you do things behind the scenes for special children, or you work in a charity capacity to a great extent, almost tirelessly, without acknowledgement. My wife and I have, our 4 children, and my 9-year-old is an autistic child. I have a special boy. That's part of what else I do, just to share with the audience real quick. I also teach special education for 30 years. I work with developmentally challenged children every week from ages 4 and up. And it's been, I wouldn't trade them for anything in the world. I love those kids. And this gift came along and has been a wonderful ally to that.
Right.
Because I use it a lot with the children, It's kind of nice to work with them. So there you go. That's the energy so far in the room.
So what's the message that I'm getting for that? Are we going to get a cure?
I can only tell you what I see, of course, and what I'm hearing is that you're devoted to some work to it. I need to know where and it's coming across as a childhood-based illness, or do you work with children-based illnesses?
Yeah.
They're showing me Ronald McDonald House. They're showing me references to that kind of stuff without getting too personal, because I know it's private to you.
Yeah, it's a fast food thing. It's not Ronald McDonald, but it is fast food.
There's some reference to a restaurant or referenced by something like that, either with juvenile diabetes, or there's definitely something connected to you.
Sandwich-based.
Okay, that you do. And I can't give you much more past. Who owned the Volkswagen?
That was my sister's husband who actually got me into this work, into the sandwich charity.
Because they're telling me about this person of the Volkswagen, or the person with the Volkswagen that brings you close forward.
Right.
And I got to ask you this also. Did you personally ever get hit to the back of the head hard?
Yes.
Did someone mug you or attack you or physically assault you?
Yes, as a child, I was hit.
Because they're making me feel you had some kind of impact to the back of the head, or you had some kind of spinal cord
damage.
Or some damage, that somehow impacted you.
Right.
And either it became a point of teasing you, or someone they used to...
Well, when I was paralyzed, they would tease me. The kids would tease me.
You were physically paralyzed?
Yeah.
All right, because I know this sounds...
It was when I was very young, though.
You know what? I got to tell you this, and I'll come right back to the story. About a year ago, I had a woman come see me at my office, and she was very resistant to everything that I did. Her husband had come. And her husband had seen me live at a public show. And she comes into my office and she says, I don't believe in any of this stuff. And I said, that's fine. You don't have to. Just listen to what I say. And I tried to explain it to her, and she insisted on being very resistant. And I said, what's the core problem with you? What's the problem? And she says, I just don't believe that my father who died is going to show up at your business office in Wanto, Long Island. I can't believe that he would do that. And I said, you don't get it. I said, they don't come to the radio station. They don't come to a soundstage. They don't come to a theater. They come because they recognize that your soul is asking for them. And when a guy like me shows up, they know that there's someone around who can interpret what they're trying to tell me. That being said, I'm telling you, there is this reference for you personally, like an applause feeling, that you have like two sides. And whatever you're doing, and you do it great on radio,
Thank you.
there's a whole other side to you that people outside don't know. It's very private, and they're very proud.
Really?
Absolutely.
And that would be my grandfather's proud of the work that I'm doing with children?
That's the primary energy that I'm getting, because he's telling me whatever it is, it's based on children, and there's a loss of the twins.
Right.
And he kind of consoles that energy through you. It's almost like there's an ally reference. And do you have your grandfather's jacket, or do you ever wear his clothes?
I have his Yankees jacket.
There you go, because he tells me you have something of his body that you wear connected to him. And why does he keep acknowledging the female with him? He's telling me there's a female connected with him, which means either your grandmother is also passed, connected to him. But did he lose a sister as well?
Yes, she was in the car.
Okay, there you go. Because
when he went off the bridge.
There you go, because he's telling me about protection of the sister energy as well.
That is bizarre. Now, I wear that. When I'm doing my charity work, I'll put on that jacket a lot of times for the kids and stuff because they'll see the old Yankees stuff. But I'm just trying to figure out what he's trying to tell me. I mean, where did the fact that I was paralyzed?
The energy has... Well, they give me these references for whoever I'm reading to let you know enough specific things that I would tell you about yourself that you'd say, there's no way this guy can know this. Right? It's just too much stuff. That's their way of knowing that I've identified the person I'm supposed to be talking to. They are telling me to have you continue to do what you're doing, that whatever you're involved with, whatever this charity is, connected to this Yankee jacket, connected through your grandfather, whether it be one of these fast food places like we mentioned before, whatever this organization is, to keep doing whatever you're doing. And in your family, do you have someone that was a Catholic nun?
Yes.
In the family?
Yeah, my Aunt Peppy.
You know she crossed?
Yeah, just 6 months ago.
All right, because I'm telling you, as I'm sitting here, I just got told by Harry that I have the nun with me.
Wow.
Oh, man, they're all together.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, the family, you know why they come through? I don't know. Most people don't realize why this even happens.
Yeah.
And I'll share it with the audience because a lot of people see us, there's only a handful of us that really do this professionally, and most people don't have any idea why it happens. The reason why it happens is for 3 reasons. One, they want people who are alive to know that after their body had stopped, that they got to the other side in kind of a safe, loving way, that they're not scared, they're not in a dark place, they're not frightened, that they're being loved, they're being protected, and they're not in any way in harm's way. Number 2, they want you to know that they really kind of involve themselves with your world. And I say that to you in this way. They'll often tell me about things that are happening in your life now, and you might say to yourself, well, that can't be Harry. He died already.
Right.
How would he know about this? That's Harry's way of telling you, hey, I'm watching you, and I'm proud of what you're doing. That's his way of saying that.
And then he has my aunt with him.
Yes, which is that P sound.
Right.
Which
Peppy.
is the nun. And then finally...
And we would call her Aunt Sister because she was a nun, but that's bizarre.
Remember
that you
I
would
kept
pick
saying...
pick this up.
Well, it's not bizarre to me. It's maybe bizarre to you guys.
Yeah.
This happens every day. And the last reason, which is kind of the most beautiful reason, is they want you to know that they're waiting for you. They do not leave.
That's scary.
No, it's kind of nice because
feels good.
You know why? You know what I want to do? And maybe you guys have some advice to me on this. I always wanted to go to a hospice where people who are terminal are facing the last maybe months of their lives and do a reading for someone who's dying. And if you could connect, let's say, with their mother or their father and really make a legitimate connection, how comforting would it be for them to know that their dad is really waiting for them and not to be worried when they eventually pass?
Like having someone picking you up at the airport.
Exactly right. Because it really is kind of like that. It's just a passing point. We're only in this body a short time. And while we're in it, we really should do the best we can to help people. So I got to tell you, I'm really proud to be here because they keep telling me that you guys do private work for children and for children-based illnesses and never ask for anything.
No.
And it's really cool. I got to thank you for that because they're making a fuss over you.
Well, that's nice to hear.
You're very welcome.
And when you say us, you mean mainly me, but you help out with some things, Fez.
Well,
I do when I can.
They're linking you together.
Yeah.
And I don't know if someone works on a food drive or someone does soup kitchens or things. And there's a reference to it. And also, someone is telling me, man, oh man, that one of you guys either had an injured an uncle or someone that felt in harm's way, or one of you guys had someone in the family that really went on hard times, may have been homeless.
That was my uncle, who was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Who was homeless for a while. And we had to go looking for him.
And you had to go find him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And who has the Niagara Falls connection?
That's Fez. That's where his family's from.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just telling you. They started to show me falls, and it's specifically Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls,
I've never been there. I've been living in New York all my life, and I've never...
Fiance
is from Niagara Falls?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Now, on which side is she? Ontario side, right?
She's on the Ontario side.
Can I just say this to you? You're saying this is your fiancé, so you're not married yet?
No.
Is that the deal? When I'm being shown Niagara Falls, they're also showing me an empty wedding dress, which is their way of saying to me, connected to your lady friend, that either one of her parents, someone real close to her, and I mean real close, has already crossed, and will not be able to be in the body at the wedding.
Right.
But they
Have
will
you been in the body?
But they will be there. Do you
That's
understand?
personal.
They'll be there
In spirit.
Yes, absolutely. They're gonna
that's
definitely
good
make
to
this
know.
wedding. And
Now, your family lived on the United States side.
Yeah, my family lived on the New
She's
York.
on the Canadian side.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I just know they're acknowledging it. And who worked with racetrack animals?
That was my dad.
That was your
Was
dad.
a jockey.
Okay, because I'm being told about the horsemen or the men of horses, or someone that worked with large race animals. Or worked
4
with,
horsemen.
There you go.
Yeah.
And remember before I made the reference to the horseshoe on the barn?
Right.
Yes.
That's what they were trying to get me to talk about.
Oh, okay. That was for Ronnie, not
Yeah,
for me.
I'm sorry. That
You
was
know
my
what?
fault.
When you said that thing, I didn't think of the barn. But there is one on the inside of the barn, on my dad's barn.
There you go.
When you're going out. But I was thinking in a house. But he has it up for luck.
There you go. It's a nailed on wood. And
Right.
Did one of you guys, not to interrupt you, did one of you guys ever work for a newspaper?
Mm-hmm.
For actually work for a
Yes.
newspaper? Because I'm being shown a newspaper press is actually flipping out copies of papers that
Yes.
someone either worked on it, either before radio
Yes.
or whatever, and you actually worked in an editorial division or something.
I worked for Hubert Meisel.
And this is flipped out here. What do you hear this? And Hawk, this may be with you over there, but somebody, and I'm not saying it's yours, but I don't want to promise, but somebody in the room either has gone to a grave, and you ever see where they take etchings of gravestones?
Yeah.
You ever
Okay,
seen
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Have one of you guys ever done that?
My mom does it.
Your mother does it.
Yeah.
Because they're telling me that's
She
like
collects it.
an old art form.
Right.
And people take like tracing paper, they put it over
They
a grave,
put it on and then trace
they use
it.
chalk.
Yeah, my mom does that.
And I'm being
for
told
old
someone
ones.
actually does this as a hobby,
Yeah.
which is kind of an unusual hobby, let's
It
say,
is.
but it's actually being done. I have to tell you, connected to the wedding, do you know if one of your wife's parents has passed?
Yes.
Because
Her father won't be able to give her away.
that's it.
He's dead.
And does she have an older brother or something?
Mm-hmm.
Is he walking her down the aisle?
Right, yeah.
Is that the guy?
Isn't it a half brother though?
Yeah.
But I'm being told the brother figure is going to
That's
walk
his
her down
legs.
the aisle. And would you know whether or not she's going to wear one of her grandmother's wedding bands?
Wow, that is the weirdest thing.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm being told she's not. She's wearing a wedding band connected to someone that's crossed or is older in the family, and it's a wedding band of acknowledgement, like an antique or something that's very, very
It's
special.
to something old.
Like you're freaking, like I see, like you're ready to cry.
Yeah. That is wild. That's
We were just talking about this.
I got to tell you, it's really like a very emotional energy for me. I can see it in your face.
Mhm.
But there's like a blessing on the wedding. And
good.
Yeah, absolute. But here on this part, they're telling me about a person that's an older person who either hid or denied themselves medical treatment for what looks like emphysema or for a cardiopulmonary issue. And they fought like getting help. It almost is like pneumonia got away from them, and they got sick and eventually took their life.
That was her stubborn father.
There you go. Because they're making
They
me
begged him.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he do anything about it?
And,
He hated doctors.
Yeah, this fella just
He
kind of...
didn't want to go to the hospital. He knew if he went to the hospital, he would die.
Yeah, you know
They
why?
died anyway.
And you know how I know it? Because in my head,
Yeah.
they're putting two hands up like in the air, like I give up.
I surrender.
It's like their way of saying, I take responsibility for my own death. And he's kind of coming in to me saying, I will definitely be at my daughter's wedding. Make sure she knows I will be there.
Are you going to say that to her, Fez, or is it going to be too...
No, I can
Strange.
say that to her, yeah. I think she'd be glad to hear that.
I would love for you to hear. I mean, if you'd
Let's
like to
call
tell her,
her.
please share that with her.
Oh, we can't call her tonight.
Why not? Fez, how are you feeling?
I am completely weirded out. Robert
Well, thanks.
Hansen, psychic medium, is in studio with us.
All right, we'll take a break.
Yeah.
Because my head right now spinning.
Well, thank you.
Getting plenty of
Just
information.
spinning.